world that's changing around them and becoming so unrecognizable for what they were raised with, and it's so bad for their children. And there's now children's books called Jacob Got a New Dress. Is that the name of this? Hang on, let me look again. Jacob's New Dress. And it's for little children to read about how Jacob, this boy, got a new sweet dress, and he's a girl. Normally, I would have pulled the Ben Shapiro and posted and been like, really? Is this really what's up? And that gets lots of likes, and no one's I develop a big group of people. And it's not like I wanted that. It's not like I was branding or anything. It was all just genuine. I'm like, okay, well, I'll speak truth to power, and I will show this shit and get other people aware, and we will fight it by awareness. That doesn't work at all. Not only doesn't it work, it's almost engaging in it in a weird way. And so when I look at look at this. So Jacob's New Dress, that's horrifying. So think about all the people right now that just think the world is going to hell and have no idea why. That's why I always tell guys, just anybody, don't cheat on your spouse, don't cheat on your boyfriend or girlfriend. And I'll tell you why. Because what ends up in their mind can sometimes be way worse, and it's never valid, right? I used to still seek female attention when me and Amy were first dating. We even broke up over it. I wasn't always the best guy. That's kind of like a scumbag way of saying like I had done some betraying things. But at the time it wasn't like, I don't know. I just thought that it was like the more you gave women, the more power they had. And like, I'm a man and all that bullshit, right? And so she knew something was off because of my behavior and just, I was clearly, I was like fairly, it wasn't the normal behavior of like someone up to no, I was literally like, yeah, like I'm a guy. Anyway. She would then start thinking it was way worse than it was, or it was way different. If I was like nice to a waitress, she'd be like, oh, did you fuck that waitress? You gonna fuck the waitress? And that's when people start just saying like women are crazy, because they'll think that you're having an affair with everybody. And the way women operate is they think it's like them. And women will like have affairs with like people's friends or their boss or people in their lives, because that's how women operate. And men, it's just 0.7 hip to waist ratio and accessibility, and it's just different, right? So in her mind, it was like everybody's a threat, and it drove her a little insane. We broke up over this early. This is all very early, but it was volatile. And so men a lot of times would just say, oh, that woman's crazy. You weren't fucking the waitress. You were just occasionally, letting chicks send you their pictures of their tits and you telling them that they were really great tits. Well, you had a girlfriend, which is definitely wrong, by the way. And but her reaction was so big because she knew that I was up to no good. That's it. But she didn't know what. And so that's when her mind would just go all over the place, and it caused her a great deal of stress. When you are absolutely true to someone, like you are just right down the middle, and you don't have to tell them everything in your life, but there's zero betrayal, zero gray area, nothing, like none. Like not even a conversation that you wouldn't be okay with your wife hearing with another woman. Like you have to get to that level, which we've now been at for a while. They're not crazy. Like they will know when something's wrong, and then they'll just create all this crazy shit. That's what's happening right now in the world. So you see something like this, and people then start thinking, they're trying to figure out why the hell it's happening. Is it in our water? Is it in the air? Is it the Jews, the Chinese, the Jesuit? Just pick your whatever. And they don't know. And so everything's a threat. There's no game plan. They're confused fish in muddied water, and the predator is the one who muddied the water. So when I'm doing these detailed dives, and it sounds like I'm being depressing or morbid or negative, it's not at all. I am trying to show as many people as I can the factors and the motivations and the methods at work that in the end create this book, so that moving forward you can identify threats and you can identify game plans and you can identify stuff, and the world isn't just insane. And that's Christianity's helped me with that as well, to understand the how thousands of years ago people knew more about what is happening right now than CNN or any of these news networks. You turn that on, that's not depicting reality. You read the Bible, you're like, oh wait, that just happened. And so stuff like that will set you, I am Christian, I'm a believer, but like it's important for me to explain that even if you're not, you have to understand how accurate it is. Even if you're a diehard atheist, and a lot of times that happens because someone in an institution hurt you, someone used power, someone manipulated, someone used shame, someone was a hypocrite growing up, a priest stole from your family, or the Christian was always the one stealing. Like, I get it. I fucking understand that whole mentality, right? Or there's no data. It's like, how can you scientifically prove God? And like, I'm a data person. It's like, ask scientists about the moon landing, guys. Global warming, acid rain, the food pyramid. So unless those people tell you, all that did is make new priests. What I'm trying to say is it'll help your mindset, because cortisol and stress and shit, that'll fucking take years off your life. And it's traumatic, and it's stress, and it's the trauma is how they control your mind, right? So when you read the Bible, or when you allow yourself to face the reality of like that NASA literally lied the whole time, it not only doesn't stress you out, it allows you to live a better life with less stress. And that's why I tell you guys that, because I genuinely thought deeply about whether or not I was good for the world or not with what I'm doing. And instinctively, I think I am, because I'm like, well, I'm not lying. I'm not manipulating. I'm not out for the wrong reasons. But my mom had a friend who died. She was always wrapped up and angry about politics, and, always ranting. And she just died of of heart failure. And so I've always thought that, am I giving people stress in their lives, or am I relieving it? And I know I'm relieving it. Because the stress in our lives comes from opening a newspaper, turning on CNN, and they're like, white people are why there's rape. And you're like, what? And then your kid comes home from school and is like, today we learned that LGBT is just like everybody else. And when two daddies love each other, and you're like, what? That is the cortisol. The relief is these are the motivators. These are the reasons. This is why it's happening. This is how you can figure out what is happening. It's okay to question. It's okay to say what you believe. There's nothing more stressful than to have no idea why anything is happening and how you can survive it.